What's up, guys? And UFC 300 took place a couple hours ago, and I already gave my full card reaction to every single fight that happened on the card. But now what we're going to be doing is matchmaking every single fighter on the card. Actually, I lied, we're not, but we're going to matchmake pretty much every single fighter on the card, and I'm going to say why I think their next opponent should be who I've chosen. I'm going to say when it should happen, where it should happen, and all that good stuff. So let's get into it. So Alex Pereira, Mr. Sharma himself, got the win, and I think he should fight Magomed Ankalaev next. Now, I don't love it, because I don't like Ankalaev, and there is a very good chance he just takes Pereira down, and I am much more in favour of giving Pereira fighters that will just stand with him on the feet and have no wrestling, so that he can get cool KOs like the one he got against Jamal Hill. But another option that I was thinking of, and this is like kind of cheating. I'm giving two options, because the other option is you just give him a fucking random heavyweight in Brazil and make it the co-main event or the main event, and it's just a non-title fight, Alex Pereira versus a ranked heavyweight in Brazil. You could also do that. That would be incredibly fun, and we can just see Pereira boop someone with a left hook, just boop a fat person with a left hook in Brazil, and he's going to get a big cheer, because it's kind of hard to, because even though I think Ankalaev does deserve it, yeah, he's a fucking Dagestani, but it is kind of hard to book a title fight on like 3 weeks notice and re-promote this event with a title fight and change up the order and make that the main event. So what I wouldn't mind them doing is just like Alex Pereira versus someone who's a fat heavyweight that's a striker in the top 15. Let me think. They can't do Volkov, they can't do Pavlovich, they can't do Blades, they can't do these guys. Fuck. Like, okay, Derek Lewis has got a main event. Fuck this. Do Buckley versus someone. Do Buckley versus fucking like Jeff Neal or something like that in St. Louis as the main event, or Buckley versus anyone as the main event. Take Lewis off the card, and then do Derek Lewis versus Alex Pereira in Brazil as the co-main event of that pay-per-view, or the main event. That's my new choice. I changed my mind. That's fun, because the title of this video is Next Fights to Make. So yes, his next fight should be a fat heavyweight in Brazil, but they're not going to do that, because we know the UFC is not, like, even though they put on this great event, their capacity to do fun things is no more. Like, it extends to UFC 300 and no further. They are incapable of thinking outside the box and doing fun stuff like booking Pereira as your champion versus a heavyweight in a non-championship fight, because they just don't do that, because they think logically, but logic is not what you should be thinking with. So my pick is actually, I change it, my pick is Alex Pereira versus Derek Lewis in Brazil. But we know that's not going to happen, because the UFC can't do fun things. So I guess the actual fight that is probably going to happen is Ankalaev. But if the UFC just is incredibly funny and refuse to give Ankalaev a title shot, which I'm in favour of, then I guess it could be Pereira versus Yuri rematch, Alex Pereira versus someone. That's the thing, there's, apart from Ankalaev, there's really no one, because Yuri, I love him, but he doesn't really deserve it, and he kind of didn't look that good against Rakic. Like, he was getting smoked. Rakic looked really good, but whatever. We're done talking about this. Pereira versus a fat fuck in Brazil, or to just wait and do Ankalaev, but whatever. We'll see what happens. We move on, though, to the next fight. Max Jerome Blessed Holloway got the win at 4:59 of round 5 by flatline KO with a right hand against Justin Gaethje. I already gave my reaction to the fight. It was incredible stuff from Max Holloway, but he's got title shots on offer in 2 divisions. Like, his next fight at lightweight is arguably for a belt, and his next fight at featherweight is 100% for a belt. So that's what I've gone with. I have gone for the latter. I've gone with Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria as a featherweight fight, and I say you do this fight in September at the Sphere on Mexican Independence Day, because I don't think they're going to go to Spain. And that is my logic behind this. I do not believe the UFC is going to go to Spain this year. If they do, amazing, do it there. But I don't think they're going to. And I think Holloway is extremely popular, especially after this win. Obviously, Ilia speaks Spanish. He isn't Mexican. I don't know how that goes, but whatever. He speaks Spanish. I think that's the fight you can do, because let's be honest, who the fuck here wants to see Grasov Shevchenko main event a pay-per-view? If it was a fight night, I wouldn't care. Pay-per-view, No, sir. So yeah, I think you do Holloway, go back down to featherweight, fight Topuria. If he stays at lightweight, I wouldn't mind it. If he fights the winner of Conor versus Chandler, I wouldn't mind it. But just because, like, Holloway smoked Gaethje. He schooled him for 5 rounds. He got dropped in the 4th, but apart from that, he pretty much won 95% of this fight and then KO'd him. I don't think we need to be like, oh yeah, Holloway versus Conor. Like, he would smoke Conor. And I know a lot of people want to see that, but like, I just don't think that's the way they're going to go. Holloway's in title mode right now. He doesn't need to be in fun, money, legend fights. He's in title mode right now. He's in legacy mode. And so I think you fight Ilia Topuria, you try and get that belt back. If you lose, then you go up to lightweight. Obviously, if you lose to Topuria by KO or by decision, whatever, then you probably have to get one more at lightweight. So yeah, he could either lose to Topuria, go back up, fight Conor, win, get a title shot, or beats Topuria. Now you've got a fucking belt, and then you can go up and do the champ thing, and that would be sick. So Max Holloway's got a bunch of options. There's really no wrong way to go with this, but I've eventually gone with Topuria. I really couldn't care less though. He can fight fucking anyone, and it'll be sick. Let's move on, though, to another fighter. Zhang Weili got an impressive and dominant decision win against Yan Xiaonan. She had a few moments of trouble. She did get dropped a couple times, but I think pretty easily the fight you do next is her versus Tatiana Suarez. She's the only fighter at strawweight coming off wins that hasn't already lost to Zhang Weili. Quite literally, look at the rankings. She just beat Xiaonan. She's already beat Lemos. I don't know who's after that. Andrade just got a win. She's beat her already. Like, there's no one there. There just straight up isn't anyone else there. Number 5, Verna Jandiroba. No one wants to see that. She's just beat everyone, or no one else is coming off wins. So pretty clearly, this is the fight. Suarez versus Weili. Do it. So I think I would love to see them do it in China, in like, if they can get a fight night there and do that as a fight night main event in China. Or they can just put it on like a pay-per-view. You could do it. She will have to take a bit of time off because she did get busted up a little bit. So I reckon you bring her back maybe August, maybe September, somewhere around that time, I guess. You could do that if they can find a way to go, because I doubt they're going to put that on either the Australia or the Sphere pay-per-view. So I doubt they're going to do that. So if they can find a fight night to do it on somewhere in Asia, that'd be sick. But let's move on to the next fight. Arman Tsarukyan got a split decision against Charles Oliveira. I think it was fair enough. I'm not going to cry robbery. Very close fight. It's just, if you want to give it to Oliveira, I ain't going to complain. If you want to give it to Arman, I ain't going to complain. And I'm a massive Oliveira fan. I wanted him to win. And I can't even be fucking mad about this. Like, I don't know. It was kind of dead. It wasn't the best fight. So that's why I'm not even like upset, because if he got finished, I'd be like, fuck man, he got finished. But this one, I don't even care, and the rest of the card was sick, so who gives a fuck? But Arman, it's Islam Makhachev next. Poirier versus Islam just got announced, which I'll talk about in another video soon. But I think you fight the winner pretty clearly, because Holloway, I'm saying go down, fight featherweight, do featherweight business. I think the winner, which we all kind of know deep down, is going to be Islam Makhachev. Do him versus Arman in October in Abu Dhabi. Pretty clearly, because it's June. If he wins, well, what's that? So June, July, August, September, October. That's 4 months. I know I hate Islam and I call him out for being inactive and fighting featherweights, but fight Poirier in June. If you smoke him, good job. You know, if it was up to me, I would say fuck it, turn him and put him on the fight night in August, and then he can fight in October. Keep that fucking man active and see if we can get someone to beat him. But in all fairness, 4 months is a pretty good turnaround. So yeah, beat Poirier, then go in October, fight Arman. Arman can sit out and wait. He's young. He doesn't need to doesn't need a rush. So yeah, do that fight. Let's move on. Bo Nickel took up a spot on the main card and fucking did a shit job of it. Yeah, he beat Cody Bumdage in the second round. I'm not going to say he struggled, but he didn't get an immediate finish, so I'm going to call him a fraud for it. But in all jokes aside, look, he is improving. He is fighting low-level opposition because he's inexperienced. He's a great wrestler with not that great jiu-jitsu, and he doesn't have the best sort of feeling of, like, knowing what to do in an MMA scenario. Like, some of the positions he was in, he was going for weird shit. He wasn't even going for, like, submissions. He was, like, over the top of someone. Like, he was going for, like, control, like, wrestling positions rather than, like, what you want to be doing in MMA. Doesn't throw much ground and pound. Took a while to get the submission. So, yeah, I ain't going to shit on him too much. I wish it wasn't on the main card, but I think you do Bo Nickel versus fuck, what's his name? Oh, cunt. Oh, I've forgot. Andre Petrosky. That's his name. This cunt. The guy that just lost to Jacob Malkoun because he headbutted his hip and then had a heart attack and died. So yeah, you do that. The guy's got a beard. He looks kind of foreign. So I guess you could, yeah. That's the dumbest explanation for why this fight should be made. Yeah, he's got a beard and he looks foreign. So yeah, make it happen. Fucking do it International Fight Week on the Conor card. That's how you, I don't want him to be on the main card, but they probably will. But like, do him on that card. I would hope on the prelims, but that would be a really good spotlight for him. Yeah, do that. Let's move on. Jiří Procházka got a win over Alexander Rakic. Comeback win. He was struggling, but he got it done because he's autistic and he's fucking amazing and we love him. Jan Blachowicz is the next fight to make, pretty clearly in my opinion. If you wanted to say do Jamal Hill, I don't mind it, but I think the better option here is you don't want to do Jiří versus Jamal Hill, because then if Hill wins, he's right back in the title picture, which you don't want because he just got slept. But Jiří's a bit more promotable. His fight wasn't quite as just easy and just no doubt about it. Just got smoked, no interest for a rematch. So him versus Blachowicz. Blachowicz had a close fight with Pereira. These are the two guys, apart from Izzy, that haven't just got completely smoked. Blachowicz went distance with him and Jiří took him into the second. So yeah, do this fight as a fight night main event in Europe, in like Poland, in Czech Republic, somewhere like that. If they really want to just be annoying with it and just kind of do it the wrong way, I guess you could do it on like the London card because they are still European, or the Manchester card, whatever. But I would love to see this as a main event, 5 rounds, and then the winner could arguably get a title shot because both of them would be one fight. No, because Blachowicz's last fight was Pereira, so maybe he would need one more. But Jiří, if he won this 2 in a row in the top 5, he would definitely get a title shot. Blachowicz probably would be one away, but if he got an impressive win, he could arguably get it since his fight with Pereira was close. But yeah, I think you make this happen. Let's move on. Aljamain Sterling got a win over Calvin Kattar. It was pretty boring. He won 30-27, but I think you do him versus Ortega. I heard the Evloev idea thrown around too. I don't mind that, but I think Ortega's a little bit better. Ortega's a bit more well-known. And also, I don't know, Evloev, just like, I hate him, but he probably should fight up, I guess. If they did that, I wouldn't mind, because then, you get 2 boring people that spam takedowns and one of them loses. So I wouldn't hate that, but I think this is a good fight too. The jiu-jitsu in this would be sick, and it would be interesting to see if Aljo, what he would do in terms of the ground, or if it would just be a stand-up fight. So that'd be kind of cool. Make it happen, I don't know, August, September on a pay-per-view. Do it on the Sphere card, do this as a main card fight on the pay-per-view of the Sphere card. If Max versus Topuria happens, my idea, then do this under that, and that will be sick. And then the winner could arguably get a title shot. But let's move on, though, up the card, or to another fight. Kayla Harrison dominated because she's a male and she fought a female. All transgender power and equality, all about it. But she beat fucking Holly Holm, dominated her. Just give her a title shot. Let's be done with this. Get someone who's actually somewhat interesting to win the belt. And yeah, fucking hell, just do it. Let's move on. Diego Lopez, my favorite prospect and one of my favorite fighters right now, who has now racked up 4 wins in less than a year. 3 wins and 4 fights in less than a year. Crazy, absolute G. He's making a name for himself so quickly, become a fan favorite already. Smoked Sadiq Yusuff in the first round by TKO, and there's so many options for him. The world's his oyster. He's going to be ranked like number 12 or 13. He can really fight anyone in the top 10. I would not say no to any suggestions. I would have said Arnold Allen, but he's pretty much confirmed to be fighting Giga Chikadze. And also, I'm trying to think who else. Like, I think you give him a jump up and you do him versus, like, a well-known fighter, someone that's dangerous, someone that's fun, someone that you can promote a fight with and be like, oh, if he beats this guy, that's legit, man. So I think you do him versus Josh Emmett. And there is a risky slight chance he does get chinned, but let's be honest, Josh Emmett's chinned Bryce Mitchell, Michael Johnson, and Ricardo Lamas. So yeah, I don't think he's chinning Diego Lopez. I think Lopez is way too good, way too quick, way too explosive, way too dangerous, and I think he would smoke Josh Emmett in the first round. And that's the thing, because Josh Emmett hasn't really just been chinned immediately. Yair finished him by sub after kind of hurting him, but if Lopez just went out there and finished Josh Emmett by KO in 1:30 seconds, nuts. Then he gets a top 5 guy. Fucking strap the rockets to this man. He's a fucking legend. He's a G. Any fight, really, I couldn't care less. So yeah, make it happen, and let's move on to another fight. Renato Money Moicano. Let me tell you something. Let's go at DLH. Moicano wants money. Love this guy. He's awesome. I picked against him, so fair play, because I thought Turner, if he dropped him, would actually go for a finish, but I'm kind of joking with the cope at this point. It is true. Like, you can say cope all you want, but it's correct. Jalen Turner walked off like a spastic and would have finished him if he didn't. Whatever. I like Moicano. I'm not upset that he got the win at all. Great post-fight interview. Great stuff. And I think you do him versus Beneil Dariush. It's not the craziest, most exciting fight, but neither was Jalen Turner, Drew Dober. They're all solid fights. Brad Riddell, he's never really fought a massive name. And although a lot of people are going to be saying Paddy, bro, this guy just beat Jalen Turner and he's going to be a top 10 lightweight coming off a win streak. Paddy, I'm going to matchmake someone against him later on. You can probably take a guess. But I don't think he should fight Paddy. I think he should actually try and fight a ranked guy. Because, you're not going to make more money for a Paddy fight. You're not going to be a main event. You're not going to be a co-main event. You're not going to be getting pay-per-views. So, I don't know why he's going the Paddy fight makes me more money. It kind of doesn't. Maybe it gets a bit more spotlight and attention, and he'd win probably, but I don't know why he wants the Paddy fight. You should call out top 10 guys. So, I wouldn't mind him versus Dan Hooker. I wouldn't mind him versus these guys. But yeah, I went with Dariush. I think this would be a good fight. Test the grappling a little bit. Benny's a bit washed too, so it's another guy that if they want to jump him up the rankings, it's very winnable for Renato Moicano. But let's move on to another fighter. Bobby Green got the win against Jim Miller, beat him up real bad, and this is the fight I was talking about, him versus Paddy Pimblett. I think if you're looking at where Bobby Green is and then where Moicano are in their careers right now and in their position, it makes way more sense for Bobby Green to fight Paddy. Do this in England. They're going to trash talk. Moicano would trash talk too, but I think this is way better. I think you do this. And it's winnable for both guys. And I think Bobby Green would win on the feet, but, it could go either way. And it's a good fight. And it's Bobby Green's a name. Moicano's a name too. But I think this is just as good on a pay-per-view as the Moicano fight. And I think Moicano's top 10 matchup makes more sense. So yeah, do this and yeah, make it happen. Let's move on. Deiveson Figueiredo got the win against Cody No Love by submission in the second round. He was kind of losing a little bit in the first, but I think you do him, give him a little jump up, and I say Chito Vera is the fight to make. I know Chito and Jan have been calling each other out, but I don't know, I just kind of don't have any interest in seeing that. Chito's a slow starter. In a 5-3 rounder, what the fuck are we what are we doing? I feel like that fight's kind of just shit. But Figueiredo versus Cheeto's good. Both South American. You could do this on a fight night in South America, pay-per-view in South America if they went there again. Do it on the Sphere card too, I wouldn't mind. Normally I would say Cheeto take more time off, but that cunt's already recovered. He's fine. He could fight next week and he'd be chilling. So yeah, do this maybe as a pay-per-view fight on the 306 card. Sphere, that'll be sick, but apart from that, I don't know, do it anywhere else. But yeah, I think this is the fight to make. Let's move on though to the other fighters of the card. Now we move to the losers, and I think Jamal Hill should fight Khalil Roundtree. Some black on black violence. Sponsored by Drew Dober. And yeah, I think this is the fight to make. Khalil's coming off some wins, coming off a win over Anthony Smith. He TKO'd him. Jamal Hill, let's be honest, Glover win was great. Apart from that, that was a jump up, which he only got because of the belt opportunity, because of the vacant belt. I think he was around this number 7 position in the rankings before the Glover fight. So I think you give him jump down. I'm not saying he has to fight way back, number 10, but Roundtree's coming off wins. He's a promotable guy. He gets knockouts, and you could do this fight as a fight night main event in an arena or in the Apex. Would be cool. Yeah, make this happen. Let's move on. Justin Gaethje got knocked the fuck out. I don't know if he's awake yet. He might still be asleep. And it's so hard to kind of know what to do with Gaethje because he's already fought Poirier, he's already fought Charles, he's already fought Chandler, he's fought some of these guys. Some of them, you feel weird about making him fight way back in the rankings. I wouldn't mind a Dan Hooker fight. But Dan Hooker's apparently going to fight BSD. Maybe that's what's been offered. So I don't know. It's just weird. You don't want to give him a wrestler like a Gamrot or some shit like that. He's already fought Fiziev. So I'm just going to go with Connor, I guess, because he's fighting Chandler. And if he wins that, this is assuming Connor wins. If Connor beats Chandler, yeah, they might just give him a fucking title shot. But he's fighting at 170. I don't know. Conor versus Gaethje at 170. Like, if Conor's just going to do random fights at 170, I feel like a Gaethje fight would be alright, just because Gaethje now is not in the title picture anymore, and he will never be again. So, yeah, I'm just going to say this. It's kind of random. I don't know. I actually have no clue who Gaethje's going to fight next. You could give me, like, 5 names, and I would say, yeah, they're all possible. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's move on. Yan Janan lost in the co-main. She can fight Lemos. The two Weili victims. Yeah, just do that. Let's move on. Charles Oliveira, he lost a split decision. Not too bad. I think you do him versus Gamrot, to be honest, because I'm not trying to do Charles versus Fiziev. I'm actually just not trying to see Charles, like, lose. Because even though I think he could win that, he looked kind of weird in this fight. Like, he didn't look bad, but he just didn't throw much on the feet. It looked like he didn't want to throw on the feet, and then he kind of just got taken down a bunch. So that's why I am hesitant about doing the Gamrot fight, but Gamrot's coming off wins. He kind of does deserve a jump up. So yeah, I guess you just do the Gamrot fight. I don't know, just do that sometime later this year, I guess. Fucking hell, I don't know. It's weird. I just don't know who to do for a lot of these fights, but whatever. Let's move on. Alexander Rakic got the loss to Jiri Prohaska. He was beating him up in the first round. He looked amazing. He actually looked really good. And he was actually having a more flawless performance than Pereira up until both of the finishes. Obviously, Pereira got the finish. Rakic got finished, so it sounds weird to say, but if you know what I mean, the first round, he looked way better against Jiri than Pereira did, let's be honest. I think you do him versus the winner of Ozdemir versus Walker. And the reason I'm putting Walker, even though I don't even know if he's going to win, is just because he's already fought Ozdemir, he hasn't fought Walker. I think he would absolutely murder Johnny Walker, which would be very funny. But I don't know who else you do. There's not really any other guys like outside the top 10 coming off big wins that deserve a jump up. So yeah, I don't mind this fight. If you want to keep him in the top 5 and do him versus like fucking, I don't know, like Krylov or some shit, that's cool. But I'm pretty sure Krylov died at war, so he's gone. But yeah, I don't mind. Whatever, do this. Let's move on. Calvin Kattar lost to Aljamain Sterling. There's literally one correct answer for this, in my opinion. It's the winner of Barboza versus Lerone Murphy, which I think is going to be Barboza. Barboza, I've been calling for this fight for ages. I said to put this on like the Brazil card. I've match made this fight like 20 times. I swear to God, every time either of these guys fight, I just say to do this fight. Because it's a banger. It's fucking boxer versus kicker, and it would be sick as fuck. And it would kind of just be like a harder version of the Sadiq Yusuff fight. Like, Kattar's a better boxer than Yusuff, but he's pretty much the same thing. Like, it's just a boxer. They're just both boxers, and Kattar's better. So it would just be a harder version of the Sadiq Yusuff fight. But Kattar looked kind of shit. So, yeah, do this fight. If Lerone Murphy wins, you can do Lerone Murphy versus Kattar too. But, yeah. Do this. This is incredible stuff. It will be a banger. Let's move on. Speak of Sadiq Yusuff, the just less talented black version of Calvin Kattar. I think you do him versus Nate Landwehr. Nate the Train coming off a big win. And although he is like, he was coming off a loss to Dan Ige, and then he won his last fight. And so you're like, oh, he doesn't really deserve a ranked opponent. Shut up, I don't care. He might move out of the rankings, or at least go to like number 15. So who gives a fuck? It doesn't even matter. This would just be fun as hell. Not Lopez. I was already thinking about Lopez before. Yusuff would probably win, but who cares? Give Landwehr just fun fights. People are talking about Landwehr versus Bryce Mitchell. Like, I said to do that because it would just be funny to listen to them both speak. But no, this is way better. This would just be a banger on the feet. I think Landwehr would probably get chinned in the first because Yusuff's actually talented, and I just don't think Landwehr is. But whatever. Yeah, do this fight. Let's move on. Jalen Turner got beaten up on the ground by Renato Moicano, and you want to know another person who would beat him up on the ground and he would really have some motivation to do so is Drew Dober. This fight makes sense now, because after Jalen Turner won or like Drew Dober lost, I'm like, oh, I can't really do this fight. Like when Dober lost to Moicano, I was like, oh, you can't really do him versus Turner. I don't care, man. I've match made this fight 30 times. Just do this. It's funny as fuck. Give us what we want, and we can never be done with the racially motivated Dober saga until this fight takes place. And if Dober wins, it's official, 100% confirmed. Racially motivated Dober is undefeated. He would win a title at welterweight against Leon Edwards. But yeah, all jokes aside, this is actually a banger. Make it happen. And Turner, fucking win one, lose one guy. Lost to Gamma, lost to fucking Hooker, beat Green, lost to Moicano. Get this guy out of the top 10, fight down, arguably should be fighting unranked, and I think Dober might be unranked now. So yeah, make this happen, and we can all have our dreams fulfilled. But let's move on. Jessica Andrade won a decision. It's women's MMA, I don't care. And I actually looked through the rankings, and she's fought everyone, pretty much. I didn't want to do her versus Verna Jandiroba because that would just be visually unappealing to the eyes. I mean, any Andrade fight is, but I don't know, just do her versus Rose Namajunas, like trilogy, I guess. Rose is in a weird spot. She's not that good at flyweight, I don't think. So either have her cut back down or just send Jessica back up to flyweight because she fights at any fucking weight class. So yeah, do that. I don't know if she's still ranked at flyweight, but do Andrade versus Rose trilogy because I don't know. Andrade's just in a weird spot. She kind of just doesn't really need to commit to a division. Just fight anyway. Yeah, settle the trilogy and it'll be cool. Let's move on. Jim Miller lost. He got beat up pretty badly. It was a tough scene. Him versus Michael Johnson's the fight to make. Johnson just pulled out against Favola and saved himself from imminent death. And yeah, this will be a good fight. I think it could go either way, honestly, because Johnson does still have some fast hands, but he's chinny as fuck. So yeah, two guys that have been around for ages. And yeah, it's a good bounce back for Jim Miller. You don't want to give him another really tough fight. Give him a very winnable opponent and an older guy. So yeah, make this fight happen. But let's move on to the last guy. Cody Garbrandt. How many times do you get choked out? Exactly. Yeah, Cody was just hanging with the boys, and that's why, he just forgot where he was. He thought he was just chilling with the lads, and then, he got choked out, so it's rough. But I don't know, Cruz rematch, I guess. I'll just put that as the pick. Cruz doesn't seem like he gives a fuck about fighting at all, so I don't know why he's still ranked. But if he does actually want to fight again and be a mixed martial artist and not just commentate, because if he just doesn't want to fight, just take him out the rankings. But Cody didn't look awful. He actually looked better than Figgy on the feet, I'm going to say. So yeah, do him versus Cruz rematch. That'd be cool. Just because, I don't know, none of these random, unranked bantamweights look that appealing for Cody. Like, they're just random. So yeah, do this. But that's all the fights, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Match made for pretty much everyone, except for Holly Holm and Marina Rodriguez and Cody Brundage, because who cares? But yeah, they can all just be cut. Brundage can fucking fight Cedric. Oh no, he already fought Cedric. Brundage can fight a bum, like literally just some debuting contender series guy. Holly Holm should arguably retire. If not, she can fight Misha Tate. And then Marina Rodriguez, I don't fucking know. Who the fuck do you do her versus? Marina Rodriguez can fight like Tabitha Ricci or some bullshit like that. I don't fucking know. Yeah, just do that. Those are all the fights. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know who you guys want to see everyone fight in the comments. We got more videos coming soon. 300 was an absolute banger. I had a blast. I hope you guys did too. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.